Hi, this is Sean. Welcome to my channel. I am the Divine Feminine Abolitionist, and we are free. The original video that I took for this card was I had to do a factory reset on my phone. God bless my hacker stalkers and the people who, attach themselves to my YouTube account, who have challenges with whatever spirit decides to share through little old me. I'm just sharing my own experience, so it's just weird that people would be so moved to come up against the work, or against what I'm doing. Is just very interesting to me, and I wish them many blessings, and I return everything they sent to me. I return it multiplied. I return it blessed. I return it cleansed. I return the weapons that you send to me, everything that you steal from me, my time. Because when somebody puts a timer on your video uploads, hours and hours, like yesterday it just was taking me hours and hours to upload a 30 something minute video. So they stole my time, they stole my energy. It's extremely frustrated. But what happened as a result of that frustration is, like, I had this awesome spirit prayer, and it was just an amazing situation. And I had a little bit of astro travel, which I learned as a child. So what I have learned is that suffering always blesses me. Like, I don't know why the divine uses suffering, or uses frustration, or uses anything that, stuff that we could say, oh, I don't like this, as a means to be a blessing to us. Because I just feel like it happens because it's not really just about us. The divine, there's no division in divine. So when somebody attaches themselves to you, as in their mind you're an enemy for whatever reason they come up with why you are, divine is trying to heal that, because there is no separation or division in divine, because we're all connected. So whatever somebody is doing, or in their mind they're saying, oh, or I'm going to get her, or I'm going to do this, or I'm sending this, all they're doing is serving as a mirror. Because as power, as spiritual law that is active in the universe, it serves me. So as they do unto me, they are doing unto themselves. And so it is what it is. You can't live on the planet without somebody deciding that they want to attach themselves to your energy in such a way. But all I know is that everything blesses me, and I'm very grateful. So I don't necessarily recall every single thing from that first video. What I do recall about divine, because these talks that I'm going to be giving up until probably sometime in the energy of the new moon, is about justice and judgment. And this is a these are patterns and pathologies that have played out in my life, lifetimes after lifetimes after lifetimes. However, this particular lifetime that I was born, I'm ending a particular period, and I don't know how long it was, because that was none of my business. The contract that I entered in about a particular type of karmic debt that was on my family, that had to do with judgment and justice. I'm ending that karmic debt, so that has been paid, and I'm going into a new cycle, a new beginning, and I'm having all this opportunity to take all the lessons that I've learned, and I'm going in with a relationship with my ancestors, which I didn't have when I showed up on the planet, in terms of me being connected to it. And oh, I thought these are like my cards from Cardiology, but this is also the date of the day I was free and from the bondage of a karmic marriage. So I didn't even think about it when I first found out that the Two of Clubs and the Seven of Spades were my numbers. I was just like, wow. I was thinking about this. I don't know when it came to me that, hey, that's the date that you got freed from that karmic marriage, and that you were able to close that debt cycle out, of using relationships to create distraction in your life from you doing the healing work that you need to do. So this date is very significant to me because it's a blessing. It's a blessing just because when you're in the bondage of codependency and this sense of you believe that you have a certain belief system about love and about unions and about marriage and all of this kind of stuff that keep you in cycles and patterns that no longer serve you. It's very challenging for you to be the initiator of those things. Well, it was for me, of those things healing. But in this case, it really wasn't challenging, because I was done being hurt, and I was done hurting, and I was done being in a pattern and the cycles of systems that no longer served me. But it was interesting because when I was going through the union severance, it took me being discarded for me to get to a place of being able to walk away. And so that's a very important thing in my life. Like, I'm so proud of myself because during the whole thing, I was told, you're not going anywhere. You need me. You'll be back. Blah, 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 blah. All the things that, are generally accustomed with those kind of situations. And even with the family whose love I wanted to depend on, they were like, well, what are you going to do? You're a woman of a certain age, and this is your second marriage, and you guys were together for 10 years. I mean, how many, you can deal with it? And I was just like, who tells people that? Who tells people who are hurting or who are in hurting situations or who are in situations that don't serve them, hey, try to stay and work it out. And if you can't work it out, we don't know what to tell you. Like, it's on you. And the thing about it is, my spirit guides in the divine were so amazing to me and helped me I just thought that was an interesting point to bring out, that God is always in the mix. Like, these numbers were assigned to me before I was even born. And on that particular day, I received a legal from this land tethering, even though I had a spiritual tethering before the legal tethering happened. But, legally and spiritually, I'm tethered from a situation, which means I have received justice from it. And what I wanted to point out about this particular card is, on my other video, I was talking about how spoiled I had gotten by tarot cards because my introduction was through the Afro-Brazilian deck. And that deck has so much beautiful imagery, and it just really turned me out in terms of imagery with tarot cards. And the melanin in it was is just amazing. And I'm drawn to cards that have melanin, and I feel like spiritually they resonate deeper for me, especially cards that are created by people of color, people who experience melanin in their life in abundance. So anyway, when this card showed up, I was like, man, why is this card talking to me so much? And and God was like, don't worry about, this is what I'm trying to get you away from. It's like, I can talk to you in any form, any shape, any color. Like, don't worry about all of this, because I want you to symbolically get the message of this particular card and go beyond the lack of pigmentation or the lack of melanin, because that's not even the issue. The issue is, in this particular card, justice is showing up as a woman, which in a lot of countries, they use the justice to symbolize justice. They use a woman, and usually it's Libra. I think she was an actual like entity, but I don't have enough information on that to really put it out there. But I think I was on, I think it's Nine Chronicles, and I think he mentioned it one time. But anyway, my whole point of saying that was like this ideology of like what we in this country, the symbolism of justice is a woman with scales, and generally she's shown with blinders on because in a lot of superpower countries, justice is blind to many of the inhabitants. And so I feel like because I have experienced a lot of injustice and I have experienced a lot of justice in this country that I live in. I live in the U.S. But my family line has had imbalances in the scales of justice. And I told you guys that I was born to two Libra parents. So justice has been a huge theme throughout my entire life. And even before I was born, justice, imbalanced scales of justice impacted my life. And um, there was something that really shaped who I am as a person that I never got um, the justice of this land for. I didn't get familial justice either, but I did get justice for this thing in the 5D. The person who committed a very heinous crime against me from the time I was 3 until I was 13 years old, this person did get judgment, because you remember these cards are about justice and judgment. I haven't gotten to judgment yet, but um, that person was definitely a toxic male. I'm not even going to say masculinity because I don't know that I ever seen this person operate from any form of divinity. I know that all I ever saw was toxicity from this individual. And this individual and I were a family, and they committed a heinous crime against me, and they were protected by the people who were supposed to protect me, the major people who were supposed to protect me, mother, father, family. So those people protected the person who committed the heinous crime, and I felt like I never got justice because the adults never came and said, hey, this was a wrong thing that was done to you, and we're sorry that we weren't there to protect you. And because I felt entitled to that, like my whole life, I went through with this spirit of these people owe me something, and so I'm just going to take it. I'm just going to take it from wherever I can get it. And that created so much karmic debt in my own life because I needed to heal that, because people can't give you what's not in them to give. What they don't even feel that you are entitled to. So I spent my whole life until I was 45 years old in want of something that people did not even believe I deserved or didn't have the ability to even give it to me. So this ideology of justice showing up in the form of a divine feminine, a queen, is this card for me is speaking that justice is beyond gender, but what it is doing, justice is when we do the spiritual work of taking personal inventory of ourselves and healing the stuff that we need to heal. Like I had to do a lot of work to heal that spirit of entitlement, of that somebody owed me something because of the pain that I went through. And there are a lot of souls walking through this planet who feel like somebody owes them something for the experiences that they had that were negative or that they were pain. Nobody owes me anything. And people who project things onto me, or who come and attack me, or who show up as enemy, when they come for me and I didn't call them, what I know is that ain't even about me. That ain't even about me. Just like Miguel Ruiz says, don't take anything personal. Like, even though, I talk a lot on here about having stalkers and understanding that those who are watching me are also being watched, and I believe in divine justice. I may not necessarily believe in the justice of this land. I do believe in divine justice, and I know that it's manifested, and I know that whatever somebody takes from me, ultimately, just like in with Job, ultimately, Job had a conversation with God, and he was like, why would you choose me? Why would you allow me to go through this? Why is this happening to me? And God said, were you here with me in the beginning when I thought about you, when I put the stars in the sky? It was just like this ideology of, you don't have all the information. When Job was asking that question, Job had no idea that what was happening to him, the attacks, the people saying, what have you done to cause this thing? Because people are always going to need to have blame and judgment and doubt, and try to figure out, something's crazy happening in somebody's life. It must be their fault. It can't be other people. It can't be, it's got to be them. But God was like, listen, if Job would have known at that time that he was questioning what was happening in his life, that he was going to get a double, triple, quadruple portion to what he was experiencing in the suffering, do you know he would have went through every single day of that suffering with a praise on his mouth, even though he did go into spirits of praise? But can you imagine going through something and you don't have any soul around you to comfort you, any soul to say, you know what, this is a temporary situation. This is a temporary situation, and you're going to get through it, and you are blessed. You are blessed. You may not feel it right now. You may not see it right now. It might not be what your experience is right now, but I guarantee you that you are going to go through this experience and get to the other side. If you would have had that kind of conversation, then when things come up, when you go through experiences of injustice, praise would be in your mouth. And that's what I was saying about last night when waited all day long for this video to upload, and then in the end, because of me speaking against organized crime, speaking about it in my county, speaking about it happening, and happening in the way that it was happening through cyber attacks, that whoever was monitoring was like, oh, we can't let this get out. And I'm just like, it is what it is. It's like, it was so angry, and my anger and my frustration took me into the most amazing praise that I have really had in a very, very, very long time. I mean, it was a spiritual dialogue between me and Source, and just my heart just got expanded. And I know that all of the things, because when I was going through the discard in my marriage, prior to the divorce being finalized, I remember being able to go into this space, because I remember all the conversations that God and I had had about this relationship. And God just said, you be solid in this. No matter what is happening, no matter what that person is doing, you be solid, and you do what you would want done if you were in a situation where you no longer wanted to be married to somebody, and you wanted different choices, and this is what you do this is how you navigate through this situation. And I want you to give me thanks and praise when you get abandoned, when you don't know how you're going to make pay the bills, when you don't know how you're going to get to food, how you're going to get through a winter, when in a town where you don't know anyone, and you don't drive, and you don't have any of the answers, but you praise me and you trust me, because I will make a way for you. And I'm telling you, what looked like no way at all, God made a way for me. And not just did God make a way for me, and it was not necessarily the way I would choose for myself, the way my blessing came through. I wouldn't have chosen it for myself. But the path opened me up in so many ways, and exposed me to so many different things. And I'm so grateful that I had the opportunity to go through that particular suffering. And I'm grateful. And just like now, the frustrations that I go through, and trying to keep my voice heard, and stay positive with all the challenges that happen with individuals I don't even know. Like, you don't even know why certain things are happening. But you know what? It's really none of my business, because I know that everything blesses me. Everything blesses me. Everything blesses me. And there's some things you can control, and there's some things you can't control. So anyway, to me, this ideology of justice is about balancing the scales. That's why this queen, under all this regala, this robe, she is wearing the armor of war, because spiritual justice, and that's what I'm talking about, because all of this other stuff, it falls under spirituality. It falls under being in alignment with divine will. It's about making the scales balance. It's about balancing the fire and the water for me, because that's my sign, is water and emotions, and getting in touch with the fire part of me. It's about balancing those scales and balancing your divine, because I told you guys that justice is divine masculinity in its right authority. So, understanding that I am the authority of my life, I am in control of how I respond to people attacking me. I am in control of how I respond to the battles that I have to have in life. And sometimes I have to realize that this ain't even my battle. I'm just here as, I'm in all my regala. Some of the times you got to be just in your rebel and just be the queen and allow things to unfold and let your army take hold. Because I do have an army. So, and let the things in your arsenal do the battling and handle the war. But sometimes you have to take off all the regala and you have to get with the warrior within yourself. And you are never in competition with anyone else. You are never in battle with anyone else. The only spiritual situation that you are going is divinity using every situation in your life to balance the scales, to bring you into alignment with divine will. And that's the whole point. So if justice is divine masculine in it's in its right authority, then judgment, that card isn't out here right now, but judgment is divine femininity. And we're going to get into that after we go through justice. The justice card that I pulled, I have one more to go through, but I wanted to get through this card. And I want to thank the people who subscribe to my channel. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you all for, trusting me with your energy and your time. And it is my intention not to waste it. It's not my intention to play games or to take advantage. It is only my intention to share my own personal evolution of what God has done in my life, is doing, God, divine God, Mother, Father, and just to show my gratitude for the gift of this life that I've been given. And and how things come up, I try to share it. And I receive so much from, the spiritual community on YouTube. I just want to be a part of giving back. And so I'm just very grateful, and I'm so appreciative. And I wish you so much peace and blessings.